Chup. Hi everyone, how are you doing? In this video, I am going to share with you what you can do if you are afraid to cut flowers from your garden to make beautiful bouquets for yourself, for your family, or your friends. I am also going to give you a little mini garden tour showing you what are blooming in my garden right now. Look at this dahlia. Oh, hello, Momo, I love you. I don't know why it's so difficult to grow these very easy to grow flowers like zinnias, like sunflowers. I had to sow them like 3 times to have enough of them for my garden and for my stand. I don't even have the heart to cut my zinnias after going through all the drama, trauma, and llama. When I started growing cut flowers the first season, I was afraid to cut my flowers and I was guilty to cut my flowers. But then I figured this out. I can always cut flowers that is flopping like this one. Nobody gonna see or someone going to step on them anyway. We also have a lot of these little zinnias. If I only cut a few stems of them, nobody can tell. And do you see this little one? It's done. If you let this go to seed, the plant will send energy to the seed instead of producing more flowers. And before you cut the zinnia, you wanna do a wiggle test. If the stem wiggle, if the flower wiggle, that means they're not ready. This is ready, and this is not ready. If you cut them, it will flop in the vase. The dahlias are already bloomed too, but I am a little late. The insect get to them before me. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to just cut this off. This will help the plant to reserve energy to produce the other bloom. I'm gonna cut this whole branch out because it's flopping. I'm gonna split this into 2 stems by cutting it right here. Ta-da! Now I have 2 stems. Or I can even make 3 by cutting this one. And this zinnia is hidden inside the bush, so I'm going to rescue it by taking it out. And let me check if the comfreynas are ready. No, they're not ready. Now it's time to arrange the flowers that we grow together. I know it's silly, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stems. You can just arrange what you have for now, like this. And this gonna look nice in your house already. For you guys that already have a garden established in your backyard, I assume that you might already grow some vegetables, some herbs, or ornamental plants and flowers around your garden, in your flower border. Here what you can do to boost up these little flowers to become a beautiful mini bouquet. You can cut a few stems of herbs like mint and bee balm. Some kind of weed flowers like this cress. Some wildflowers that you can find around your property. And you wanna take the bottom leaf off. If your herb like this bee balm have a lot of branches, you can break them up too. Then take off the bottom leaf. You can arrange your flowers right after you cut them, but I did not do that last night because the storm were coming. So I put them in this bigger vase and wait to arrange them this morning. The benefit of conditioning flowers or leave them in water before you arrange them is that you're going to see the flower that will not make it, like this dahlia. It lose all the petals. And also this mint is obvious that it's not ready. This is a little recycled jam jar that I'm going to use as the vase for our arrangement. And I'm gonna start by bundling up the green to create like a little structure for our arrangement first. So I marry all the stem together, kind of crisscross a little bit. You want it to be like a little bouquet of green like this. Now I'm gonna add the little flowers in between like the empty spot of the green. Just find the empty spot and then tuck them in like that. And I'm gonna hold it by the vase like this, then cut it. Now we can adjust our little structure a little bit to make it more round. Space out the flowers and the green, create a balance. Now it's time to add the flowers. I'm going to start with the biggest one, like the zinnias. Again, I'm gonna cut it by the base of the vase. Then I'm gonna just put it in like that. I'm gonna add a little one on this side like this, the other one right here. Now I'm gonna add the dahlia in the middle. This stem of green stick out a little too much, so I can just like cut it off. Ta-da! Here we go, our little posy. I know it's minimal, it's not stunning, it's not outstanding, but we get to work with what we have in our garden. Plus, we still have some flowers left in the flower bed too. You know, in just a few weeks, we are going to have so much more flowers, and then we can make a much more bigger bouquet. But for now, I think this is good for our office or maybe the kitchen. Plus, it smells so good too.
그대 미소에 난 취한 것 같아 자꾸만 웃음이 나 어린아이 장난 같아 다정한 밤 공기가 적당한 볼 바랬던 나를 date 다른 음악이 돼 달콤해 그대와 나
These clippers have been with me for 3 years. I have no sponsorship from this company at all, but I have been receiving a lot of questions what clippers that I use. I use this one, RAS. There are multiple versions, but make sure you get the stainless steel one, because if you get the carbon steel one, you know, it will get rusty.
한 잔에 콜라다보다 달달한 그 말 사랑해 이 세상 누구보다 더 마음의 이끌림을 따라 내게 다가가 입 맞출래
Because it's been a rough season for me to grow annual summer cut flowers like zinnia, like sunflowers. I find that I just automatically go back to my original gardening passion, which is creating beautiful space, beautiful planters, beautiful flower border for myself, for my husband, for my family. And it's been helpful with my mental health, not worry about, you know, production, not worry about making money. So my point here is that if you are struggling with, you know, any kind of flowers or any kind of plants, maybe shift your focus to something else that you enjoy or used to enjoy, or go back to the question why you start gardening.
달콤해 그대와 나 한 잔에 피치 마티니보다
I want to keep this cosmos in this flower row as long as possible, but I have no choice. I have to cut them. Oh my gosh. And this is the most intimidating part of the process, is to cut them very deep like this, like 1 foot above the ground. But this one have a lot of side branches, so I'm not going to cut too deep yet. And this one still have a lot of buds that not ready to be cut yet, so I'm going to cut just this little stem. And this one is kind of flopping on the side, so I'm gonna cut the whole thing. I know my instruction is inconsistent, but here's the rule of thumb. You don't want them to get too tall, okay? So I can see this stem, right? It's like getting too tall. Eventually, I have to cut this stem like very, very deep so they send out side branches and they don't flop all over the place. And I'll show you later. Oh, come on. Two frame. Two frame. Come on. I am going to be very patient this time. I hope he comes. Fiend, come on. Come on. Can I touch? I had to sit here for like 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, he said. What if he don't run? Oops. Bum bum. You don't say thank you. I see this one is about to bloom, right? So this one is done. So I'm going to cut the whole branch out. There are so many theories of how to take care of roses, including pruning roses. For me, in New Jersey, in my area, in my garden, I like to thin them out like a lot, take all the branch that's like in the middle, that looks dead. I'm trying to make them as early as possible because otherwise, they can get powdery middle. My goal here is to make sure that, fresh air can go into the middle of the shrub. So I'm gonna take this whole branch out. To take care of roses, you just feed them, make them healthy enough to fight disease, fight, any kind of condition. Then they're gonna be healthy and they're gonna produce a lot of blooms for you. And you don't have to worry about using pesticide or using herbicide.
Comic reservation.
When there's sunshine after the rain, it helps the flowers to produce and to bloom faster. So I am going to cut this dahlia. And we can leave this bud to bloom next. Gonna add this in. Oops, another hidden babies. The benefit of arranging flowers in the mason jar is that you don't need long stem. You can steal some stem from your landscape, your flower border, and then add it to your bouquet. Gonna add one right here on the side. This zinnia have more buds coming up, so I think I'm gonna cut them. I cut these side branches. Again, it's a good thing. We don't want them to be too tall, so just take them out. Ta-da! Now our posy look more cute and more full. Not too bad, right? This yarrow has been like, I don't know. It has to bye-bye. I have to let it go. Let it go. Can't hold it on anymore. Let it go. Let it go. Oh my. Holy smoke bush. Look at that. This fever will have to bye-bye too. Bye-bye. I just said in my last week video, don't forget to support your flowers, although it seemed to be like very, very strong and nothing gonna hurt them. But look at my hollyhock. I thought they were fine, but the combination of the rain from last night and the flowers and the seed pod, you know, it's so heavy for the stem to carry all the weight. When you have a cut flowers garden, you will never have enough twine. And this one is $25 and I get a lot of it. And I save a lot of money buying this instead of keep buying the little one. Using the netting technique, a lot easier than, you know, support flowers like this one by one. I know we already spent a lot of time staking these dahlias, but when they get taller, you have to keep giving them support, tying them. We have been taking care of these babies for several months now, and we don't want them to like flop or, you know, fail in the very last step. Believe me, we almost there. Just spending this 10 minutes, it will save your babies from falling all over the place. If you are afraid to cut your flowers, find the flowers that need to be cut anyway. Let's go back to this yarrow. Before I get rid of this clump, I'm gonna find a stem that I can use for flower arrangement.
When my heart is discovered, you set me free. You believed in me. Now you're here with me, and we're walking on cloud nine. Yeah, we're walking on cloud nine. Yeah, we're walking on cloud nine.
Guess what? We are going to boost this little bouquet again. I got a lot of compliments about this endless summer hydrangeas. It is the best year for them, so of course I am not going to cut this stem right here. But it doesn't mean I cannot go around and cut the hidden flowers by the fence. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. So I'm gonna cut this one. Nobody can see this. Nobody. Ta-da! I have a lot of these cone flowers, so it's okay if I cut only like 2 or 3 stems of them. And nobody can tell. Doop. Maybe one more, I'm sorry. See, no difference. And these flop on the pathway, so gonna get them out of the way. And Cosmos not gonna last very long anyway, so why don't I just cut some of them. And this guy, if it grow even taller than this, it's gonna flop. So, gonna thin them out. See, this one get too tall and it's flop already. This one also flop outside the fence. Bye bye. And this baby is about to flop because the flowers is very heavy. I'll cut maybe 2 of them. Maybe this one. And a few stems of this because it's blocking my hydrangeas. Gonna put the hydrangea first before it's wilt. Now let's put the big guys here. Ta-da! Try to. Now I'm gonna add in this fox. For the floating stuff like these, I am going to leave them aside for now. I'm gonna try to leave the center open because I want it to be like, you know, splashing out and a little, you know, airy and wild a little bit. Now it's time to add our little bouquets in. Not gonna worry too much, I'm gonna add it in like this. Just gonna spin and add the stem. And again, I am leaving the middle open. I'm gonna add this later. Oh, you can cut the stem before you add them in too. I'm gonna cut them in short because I don't want them to flop again. Keep spinning and adding. You can stay at this step of the process. I am trying to add the flowers like on this angle because I want to leave the middle open, and you will see why later. I'm gonna clean up with more loose stripe. You can see here the center is still open. Now it's time for this yarrow. check them out. And right now I am going to add the stem just right on top of the stem that we built before, like that. So all the flowers kind of shooting out from the center of the arrangement. Lay the stem on top of the other stem that I added before. So this is the opposite of the hand-tied spiral bouquet that we start from the middle and then build up, around the center. This one we start from the outside and build up to the center. Now it's time for the wild stuff. This one is going to be on top of the other bouquet, but the angle will be steeper because, there's no more lower end to work on. Oh, that's too much. That's too much. Now it's time for the real wild stuff, like this echinacea. Oh, okay. There you go. You know what? I don't like this. It's too upright. Gonna try. Okay, it's better. Now it's time for kadukadik, like this cosmos. Once the arrangement is pretty full like this, we're gonna find like empty spot to add the rest of the stems. It's a little empty right here, so I'm gonna add the dahlia. And one right here, facing the front. And the last step is to add this kadukadik like ornamental grass and the wheat. And again, the center still open. I am stop spinning because now I have to like think about, what people gonna see in the front. Now the wheat. I still have this leftover yarrow, so I'm gonna find the black hole and then I'm gonna fill in. Yeah, like this spot. So I'm gonna add it in. Some of them I cut very short because I am going to fill in the middle like this. And I still have the top of the arrangement open. Not bad, right? From cutting the yarrow, I get a bunch of yarrow, of course, and I get, the material for my compost pile, which is the yellow leaves and the stem. And now I get this new flower bed for flowers. I am glad that I was afraid to cut my flowers this week, especially zinnias. Usually I would come here and I would do the wiggle test and then I just cut. But because I didn't cut them, I get to see them, how they mature, how they transform the colors. This is alpenglow zinnias. If I cut them earlier, I wouldn't get to see, this color because they were so pale and I didn't like them at first. The precious meadow also transformed from like pale color to like lavender two-tone with peach color. Here's my favorite, golden hours. It was like salmon color. Now it's, turned pink on the edge. And this one even more pretty. It has a salmon color, but on the edge is like pink, which is like my favorite color combination. I wouldn't see this transition if I cut them too soon. Here we go, Culinary Garden Zinnias. I think it's my most favorite, this one. It's like coral in the center, almost like orange, and then, slowly fade to pink on the outside. Here's the Victorian wedding. And this one's so pretty, oh my gosh. I cut from my bouquet the other week, just 2 or 3 stems. And Zinnia's Queen, I always cut them when they're like this. But this one I let it mature, and look at this. So pretty. I wouldn't learn about this if I cut them too early. I also get to have this columbine seed from the flowers that I didn't cut, and I will share with 20 of you guys, and I will announce the winner in the end of this video. My cottage garden this year look colorful and full of flowers than ever because I don't cut a lot of flowers from this garden anymore. I am also super proud of this wildflower garden. You know, I let the flowers bloom and I don't cut a lot of echinacea to the wholesale like I used to do. My florist flower friend reached out to me this week to get like a bucket of rudbeckia. It is the first time in the history that I say, I'm sorry, I only have a few clumps this year because I didn't have, good germination, and I want to keep the flowers to myself. Turn out that she's totally supportive and she is happy to allow me to keep my flowers that I grow in my garden. Go that way. If you are afraid to cut your flowers, maybe just don't cut them. We are living in the society right now that other people tell us to do this. Don't do that. Don't miss this opportunity. Don't miss that time window. And sometimes we even force ourselves to do 10 million things that we are uncomfortable to do. And then, we get burned out. Maybe it's a good idea to ask ourselves, why do I do this? Is there other way around that I can be more creative and I can feel comfortable when I do this task? Trophim, what's going on? Hungry? You're hungry, huh? Aw. I know I have been inconsistent with my direction and my instruction. This video is about how to cut flowers, but in the end, I tell you not to cut the flowers. But there's one thing that I will be consistent in every single video is to thank to you all for your support, for your valuable time spending with me in my channel. My channel is growing so fast right now, which is a good thing because when I get more views, I get more money from YouTube, and that allows me to not cut my flowers too much from my garden and keep it to myself, and I can share with you guys remotely through the video too.